Hello, welcome to Discovering the World of Natural Health. I'm your host, Claiborne Holtzman. We at Remedy This Naturally at 1140 Benvenue Road are there to help you have a better understanding of how natural works, what natural can do for us, what God's pharmacy can do for us. You know, there's two pharmacists that they have People's Pharmacy, and they talk about the difference in the natural associated with the pharmaceutical, and they have a great show in being able to help us understand what's going on in the natural realm and then also in the pharmaceutical realm. So they have a valuable place in helping us understand what's happening. We at Remedy This Naturally are trying to help us understand that their natural approach is an approach that can be beneficial. I was looking at one of my books here as part of what I was going to talk about today, and this topic wasn't the one that was there in the book, but this one here, Home Remedies for Women, and it talks about women doctors reveal over 2,000 self-help tips on health problems that concern women the most. And there are about 5 pages in here of women acknowledgments. Just trying to set the record straight, and there is acknowledgement. And all of these right in here are women medical doctors. And it said that in one medical school, over half of the candidates to become an MD were women. So you guys play a vital role. I mean, women have been the doctors. By that I mean mama, head of the household, mama, that she is there to help take care of the aches, the pains, the bruises, whatever. But most of all, mom can do something that dad can't do with such finesse and easiness of helping someone overcoming pain, is that once they put that Band-Aid on there and mama gives a little kiss saying, it's gonna be all right. Every child that has that love and that concern coming from their mom are in the healing realm already started soon as the accident happened, especially if you got someone that's able to do that for you, such as a loving, caring mom. One of the things, and it's just been great being able to get some more books. This one I just showed you is one that's new to my collection. The one that I'm going to talk about today is the owner's manual, and I got the outside cover for it right here. And the reason I've got this is that I want you to understand this is Michael F. Roizen. He's a medical doctor. And do you know what Dr. Oz's first name is? Is M-E-H-M-E-T, Dr. Oz. The owner's manual is the best thing to attending medical school, plus you save on tuition. That's what Dean Ornish says about this book. The owner's manual lets you in on the secret of your body, Lance Armstrong. Lance really did a great job in overcoming cancer and being able to use the means that were possible for him to get cancer under control. Which of the following statements are true? And there's some questions on here. As you increase the amount you exercise, the rewards you gain from it increase as well. Is that a true or false statement? I think so. If you're not a smoker, you have nothing to worry about when it comes to your lungs. That I wouldn't say was a true statement. Bad breath comes from your mouth. Women have less sex after they pass through menopause. Question. Your immune system always knows the difference between your own cells and the enemy invaders. The biggest threat to your arteries is cholesterol, yes or no? Memory loss is a natural, inevitable part of life. And did you answer question any of the above? Then take a look inside. The owner's manual, that's what we're going to talk about today in this particular book here. Because if we can understand how we are who we are in the physical, mental, and emotional realm, and what makes us up as to who we are, and what can we do about it if we need to change or we need to increase being better. You take beautiful bodies. What do? They sell magazines. You have tattoos on somebody. What do they usually do? They attract gawkers, people that just want to say, wow, what do you got there? Let's just see what's going on. You can have people that train the body we live in, and they can win championships. They can get endorsement of contracts because of the body that they live in. Celebrities, they get stalked by the paparazzi. Paparazzi. They get information about them in the tabloids. The lampoon by late night talk show hosts. They get to hear about what's going on. Infomercials promise better bodies. You lose up 700 pounds with this innovative way of doing something. You change and buy my product, you're going to lose that amount of pounds by putting this belly cream on. And then there is those who are concerned about the outside of what people see of them, and they end up getting plastic surgery. It's no doubt corporate America has they just plain on capitalize on it. If you have a beautiful body, you can stimulate the economy with that beautiful body. We're all for admiring the body for its curves, angles, and ability to make Nielsen rates soar. But maybe our observation with skin bellies and the impotence of everything that churns, chugs, and pounds underneath it, because many people have developed a view of the human body that's more superficial than a paper cut. And what Dr. Oz and them did in this book was to take a deeper look. They want to take a deeper look into places where only surgeons, MRI machines, and occasional tapeworms can see, and that would be inside our body. If we are able to go inside of our body and understand the mechanisms, and there are many and multiple, then the body has the ability to run, see, smell, have wild, intimate relationships on the beach, feed babies, create dinosaurs out of Legos, surf, solve algebra problems, tie shoelaces, and even enjoy the benefits of Margaritaville. We can and do thousands of different things you do every day, our bodies give us life. Your body gives you life. And that's what we're looking at from Remedy This Naturally is what is it that you can do, I can do, and the people around me can do to have that longer life. And if we will look inside of our bodies, we'll be able to see what it can become. It says, even if you understand your body's many functions, you may not really know how it functions. And more important, how you can make it stronger, healthier, and younger. Excuse me. Maybe that's because complex medical issues and scientific jargon race through our brains like cars on the interstate. Reports, data, recommendations, all these things that come by us so fast that we barely even notice them because we don't get a glimpse of them. We say, oh, that was a red car. I don't know anything else about it. Let alone figure out what they all mean. So, it's just like finding a kernel of a corn in the middle of a landfill. It's a little nugget that's out there. And find out what the function of that nugget is in our life, in our well-being. We need to live life healthier. And so, in order for us to live life healthier, we need to understand some of the things that our body can do, help our thinking be intrigued enough to want to look into what can I do to have a better quality of life. And as I say always, do it naturally. So, in order to do and think of your bodies as a home, you live in a home, apartment, whatever it may be, but when we start thinking about the similarities between the bodies and homes, we realize that the two have a more striking resemblance than he uses the Olsen twins. Most of you probably don't even know who that is. Your house and your body are both important investments. They both provide shelter to invaluable personal property. And they both place and want you to protect with all your power. How do we take care of that home? How do we take care of the body we live in? I mean, that's the big picture. And then we break it down into what about the home? What is it that we need to pay attention to? We understand the relationship that bones are the 2x4s that support and protect the inner structure of our home. Our eyes are the windows. Our lungs are the ventilation ducts. Your brain is the fuse box. Your intestines are the plumbing system. Your mouth is the food processor. Your heart is the water main. Your hair is the lawn. Some have a little more lawn to take care of than others. And your fat is all the unnecessary junk that we stored in the attic. That somebody's always nagging about us to get it cleaned up and get it out of there. We ain't used it for 20 years. Why is it still there? if you can get past the fact that your forehead doesn't have a street number and a 2-story brick colonial doesn't look like, it just doesn't look that good in a bathing suit, okay? Similarities between the home and the body are remarkable. So more remarkable, in fact, that we believe we can learn about how your body works by taking and talking about how your house does. And that's really what Dr. Oz did in this book. And knowing your body gives you the power to change it. Change it. Wow. You mean you and I can do something to change where we live, our home that we walk around, hopefully, on the beautiful 2 legs God has given us. But some of us have to use the wheelchair. Some of us have to use the walker. Some just have to be dependent on someone or something else. Know that the body gives you the power to change it, maintain it, decorate it, and strengthen it. And as we understand the anatomy of the body and the major organs and what they do, we're going to have to take some time to go on the inside. We're going to have to take some time to share what we know about and learn what we can't see. And we can find out how the body's organs operate and interact with each other. And not do it in, quote unquote, as Dr. Oz says, in doctor speech, but we can also treat you like, we don't want to treat you like you're a 4th grader as well. But what they're saying in the book here, and we're talking about it, is just help make scientific information simple. You can prevent disease and live a younger, healthier life if you understand what you're working with. How do diseases start? How does it affect the body? And how can we learn to fend off and beat problems and conditions that can threaten not only our life, but also our quality of life? Is our quality of life as good as it was, depending on your age, 10 to 60 years ago? Let's go back for a moment and let's just elaborate a little bit on the home or house analogy. We want you to take the same approach to basic body maintenance and repairs as you do in your home. So what do you do in your home to take care of maintaining the many different facets of a home, many different facets of repairs? What do we do in that aspect and kind of wake our mind up to kind of perceive it and understand it according to us and compare it to our home? By that I mean, you don't really call a plumber if you have a little backup in your pipes. You're at the sink tonight and you got ready and the water is just not going down like it's supposed to, or in the bathtub. What do? You go look for a plunger, and you take the back off the toilet and you fiddle with the floating ball. You try with this mechanism in this plumbing situation analogy I've given you, you try, as look on the screen right there, remedy this naturally. Okay? Remedy this naturally with the water not going down the sink and the ball in the back of the toilet or whatever it may be. You try to remedy the problem yourself. And that's what it's all about. Remedy this naturally. All right? We got it. Water's not going down, so you take the plunger and you remedy the problem yourself. You take control. You take charge of that home. And you can do the same with the body. What do you got to do? Maybe the bowels are not working like they ought to, and you got to have a fleet enema. You know, if you got one little fly, and thank goodness for the cold weather right now, that many bugs or stuff are not out. But you don't usually call the exterminator when you spot a fly in the home or in the kitchen. Most of the times you wouldn't call an electrician if your light bulb burns out. You would replace it. Something you can do to correct the problem. See where we're going with this? It's our responsibility. It's our focusing on understanding how to correct the problem that arose. You rely on yourself. You rely on yourself for maintaining control over how your house ages. Because you know that it's less expensive to prevent problems and treat minor ones than let everything just deteriorate to the point the house needs a major overhaul to continue functioning properly. We focus on that. We think about that, you know, and especially if you own the home, you're going to do more than a renter who has no investment in that home except to have a place to stay, and somebody else is going to maintain and take care of the problems. With that in mind, are you renting the body you're living in, or are you owning the body you live in? And if you're renting your body, you're less likely to pay attention to what damage is being done if you're smoking, drinking, doing things that are not good for the body, as well as things you would do that are not good for the home. You know, our ultimate goal, what is our destination? Is to get comfortable enough with our own personal body so that we'll feel confident that basic body maintenance, so you'll avoid the things that cause the most wear and tear, and do the things that best maintains the long-term value of your body. Now, long-term maintenance of the body we live in. Yeah, to do this, what we need to do is, just say for example, we talked about the drain being plugged in the house. So we try with a plunger to make a change. We don't go in and call the plumber just for something we can take care of. So, can we compare that to arteries that are clogged? Or why don't we remember where we put our keys? how to have a more satisfying sex life, how to exercise your heart and your bones, why your immune cells fight some diseases and not others. Why is it? How do we understand that? And what can we see as we tour the inside? How about our intestines? What do they do? How do they work? How can we make that poopy fairy visit more often? As you watch this show, as you become a frequent shopper at Remedy This Naturally, I hope you learn a lot, laugh a little, laugh a lot. Find the things in your life that you can change to take complete control of your health. You control your health destiny. You control it. It's us accepting where we live. It's us accepting we have a responsibility to where we're inside of this physical body. You control your health destiny. If this world didn't have doctors, there'd probably be no such things as quadruple bypasses, laser eye surgery, or ineligible handwriting. But for all the wonderful things that organized medicine provides, from amazing advanced treatments in cutting-edge research, and will someday cure incurable diseases, we're not about organized medicine. It's not a guide to treatment in what we're doing. It's not a textbook or encyclopedia what we're doing. Think of it as a manual for prevention. Your manual for preventing the effects of age. The things you learn, the things that you're willing to let us come into your life and help you with. Think of it as having a manual for prevention. Preventing the effects of aging by keeping you feeling, looking, and being younger than your calendar ages. We have birthdays. Some people look their age, some people don't. Some look younger, some look older. Doctors will be the first ones to tell you that they can't keep you from getting heart disease, or put sunblock on your nose before a noontime run, or slap your hand when you're reaching for the third Twinkie and shooting it down your throat like a torpedo. Boom. But you can control your health's destiny. And in the book I told you about, and they had it on the cover of the book about Lance Armstrong, this goes all the way back to 1996. Lance Armstrong, champion cyclist, had tests that revealed advanced testicular cancer that had spread to his lungs and his brain. Had a problem. With a far less than 50% chance of survival. I mean, when you get it there, it's in the testicles. You get it, it's in the lungs. And They're there for oxygenation, and you get it in the brain. How well are you going to be able to think about what you need to do, what you want to do, how can you do? Because the brain would be limited functioning as it would deteriorate. So we're talking about an individual that had less than a 50% chance of survival. What did he do? Lance Armstrong, I'm going to say he probably endured surgeries. And they gave him aggressive forms of chemotherapy. These are things that were done to treat his cancer. Those things weakened him physically, probably mentally, emotionally. But something else that I want you to understand about Lance Armstrong, he did something that you have got to put in your vocabulary in order for you and me to be able to overcome this. And what would that be? He was weakened physically and mentally, but he was left determined. Determination, folks. I hear people, as soon as they said, I have cancer, whoop, dead, gone. Doesn't have to be. Get a little stubborn bone in you, become determined, as Lance did. Because he took the determination and the medical treatments, and Armstrong's own willpower and support of the people. What type of people do you have around you? Do the people you have around you help you have the strength to fight the fight? To beat cancer? To become the record-breaking 6-time Tour de France champion? And most important, do you have the people around you to inspire, to help, and motivate? He had millions of other people. I mean, they had these Live Strong wristbands, and people are probably still wearing them, even goes back in 1996. Everybody was in there. They were fighting with him. They were saying, let's do it, buddy. I'm fighting with you. I'm alongside of you. I am determined as you are determined. And we're going to overcome this cancer. And folks, end up beating it. And 6-time Tour de France champion on that bicycle. Powerful, folks. While you can't always control what happens to you, I don't care how fit you are. I don't care if nothing in your life looks like it's going wrong. Then all of a sudden, something pops up out of the blue, so to speak. You can't always control what happens. I don't care how good you try to work at it, how if you just stick to one particular diet that you can stick to. What serves as the crux? What serves as the foundation for you and I making contact? You and I talking about what you've got going on. What can happen? All of a sudden, boom, the body tells us something. We go test it, and we got something that, oh my God, how can that be? You do all the right things. Your willingness to take your health into your own hands and know as much about your body as possible. We touched the surface here. We touched it, letting you know that this particular herb, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as the home remedies and some of the things that have come up that are known to make a change in our life and health. You know, I am not, let's get this right, I am not suggesting that you order a bunch of scalpels and remove the mold off your arm, do self-performed colonoscopy after the kids go to bed. That's what the authors of the book say. We all need doctors, and the doctors are the ones that I am reporting that wrote the book that we're reading about. And we're talking about your owner's manual, and you're talking about Michael and he meant, wait, Dr. Oz, okay. The power that we control our health is important as to what will be our destiny. The point is that the power you have to control your health, destiny is real, and it's in your hands, not someone else's. Trying to wake it up. You know, people can give recommendations, and Dr. Oz says, we're going to give you dozens of recommendations that you can use to make yourself healthier. But to prove a point, we want to boil down the issue of personal control to one fact. If you make just five adjustments in your life, you can have a dramatic effect on your body's expectancy and quality of your life. So you need to get the pencil and paper. You need to write it down. I'm going to talk about 5 things. 5 things that we can do that can ultimately make a recommendation, can make adjustments in our life. Well, number 1, 5 things. Controlling your blood pressure. Number 1, controlling your blood pressure. Number 2, avoid cigarettes. You know, and in this day and age, a lot of people are definitely avoiding the smoking. So that may only give you 4 things you got to do. So blood pressure was first, avoid cigarettes number 2, and number 3, exercising 30 minutes a day. Do something, get out, walk, stretch. Control stress. Stress is a killer, folks. That's why it's one of the 5 things being recommended at this moment. And following an easy, loving, healthy diet. Okay? So, remember, blood pressure, avoid cigarettes and cigars, exercising 30 minutes a day, controlling stress, and following an easy-to-love, healthy diet. You know, in the diet, I'll jump ahead of myself a little bit. If you do those 5 things, in the next 10 years, you have just 10% chance of dying or having to suffer disability compared to a typical person your age. Just doing those 5 things, you can change your expectancy of a not only life, but quality life. It's just amazing. Because we choose our age. You and I choose our age. You look at me like I'm dumb. You're dumbfounded when I say that. Whether you look at a clock, a calendar, an hourglass, time don't stop. It keeps on ticking. And my mom used to tell me, tide and time wait for no man, woman, or child. It ticks day after day, minute after minute, second after second. Everyone ages at the same rate with birthdays every year. That is your calendar age. But you have the power to turn your clock faster and slower. And with the lifestyle choices you make regarding what you do with your body and what you put into your body. Okay? I make a choice. Okay? Let's give an example. A 50-year-old who douses her lungs with nicotine and builds her food pyramid with chopped liver and sausage actually may have the body of a 65-year-old because of the destruction she's doing. While a 50-year-old who eats well, stays away from toxins, and takes care of her body with moderate physical activity could have the body and health of a 36-year-old. What's the real age effect as we make certain choices about our health? The real age has to do with how we treat the home we live in. With some of you may really understand what I'm talking about. We can either be younger or we can accelerate our life and be older even though we have the numbers. Let me give you something to consider. Okay? Think about this for a moment. You control more than 70% of how well and how long you live. You and I control 70% of how well and how long we live. By the time you reach 50, your lifestyle dictates 80% of how you're aging. The rest is controlled by inherited genetics. Don't get me wrong, we don't stop aging. We're going to stop it. We're going to continue to age as long as we're breathing and living. That's because our bodies are continually aged by the environment through oxidation and other processes within our body. Oxidation, which is a lot like the rusting of your home's foundation or pillars, is a natural, important process that's a byproduct of the proper functioning of our body. When too much oxidation occurs, it puts at a higher risk of aging or rusting. The man said, I want to wear out, not rust out. It's why so many foods that are good for us are antioxidants. Foods that slow the oxidation process. We do not know that the antioxidant property of these foods is responsible for the health benefits you get from them. But what we do know is there are three main factors in related aging diseases that you can control, put you in charge again. It's your home. It's your house. You know, if you control them, you slow the aging process. But we know that what makes us feel old before age 100 and that age-related disease, so we can tell you 80% of how to stop these 3 factors in age-related disease. They are. Pencil and paper time, folks. Aging of your heart and blood vessels. I mean, why do we want to worry about aging of our heart and our blood vessels? Well, because they're responsible for things like stroke, heart attack, memory loss, impotence, when arteries cut off nutritional blood to important organs. We need the blood to get there, to take the oxygen to where it needs to go. Antioxidant. And number 2, aging of your immune system, which leads to autoimmune diseases, infections, and cancer. I'll come back and go through all 3 of them. But the third one, aging caused by environmental or social issues. Now, wait a minute. Environment or social issues. What does that have to do with my aging by my environment or social issues? Accidents, social factors. What are social factors? Stress, very powerful factors that contribute to our aging. So let's 80% of how we stop these 3 factors, and that's aging of our heart and blood vessels, aging of our immune system, and aging caused by environmental or social issues. As we learn and as we do things that help us to deal with these aging processes that happen within us, as you make the changes, it's almost like getting a stimulus check of longevity currency. One way to make the body come alive is to show real anatomy. You know, what it's about. Let you understand. We need to do that. We can, as we change and get involved in our life and our health, with a natural approach of understanding that it's a home we live in, like the home, whether you rent it or not, is still the home you're living in right now. Comparison of a physical home and a home we live in ourselves. So we have the home, and we have the body home. We had to get that straightened out because it's starting to, I got to thinking about, well, why are you giving this comparison? If somebody don't own it and they have a rental, then you're missing out on the point. No. A home is a home, and it's what you make it, where you make it, whether you own it or not. But in this particular case, you ain't going to get away from not owning where you live. It's important. You know, you can flip through the newspaper, you can read about all kinds of news, whether it's about international conflicts or another celebrity breakup. But sometimes, at least to us, it seems that the only health news that gets attention is the bad news. Every time you turn the page, you read a slant on a story that is depressing. There's others famous cases of Alzheimer's, diabetes. These are skyrocketing. Americans are fatter than a Lister's wallet. I don't know what that is. The effect? Eventually it seems so depressing that you avoid health news and information the way polar bears avoid Fuji. Yes, we had serious health problems to address, but they are only one side of the story. For starters, look at the average life expectancy, 47 in 1900 and nearly 80 in 2000. A lot of credit for those extra 33 years goes to public health and organized medicine. So statistics show that you're going to live longer. Maybe the most impressive statistics are these. While the rest of the world thinks we are the corner of obesity, there may be signs that's changing. From 1966 to 1966 to 96, 30 years, the number of Americans who engaged in regular physical activity decreased by 1% every year. But from 1996 to 2002, the amount of physical activity grew 1% every year. Smoking decreased from 50% of the adults in 70 to 27% in 2000. And the people with high blood pressure who went untreated fell from 80% in the 70s to 43% in 2000. Even corporate America is catching on. General Mills broadcasts that it will stop selling cereal that isn't whole grain. Walmart is reported to told food companies it would no longer distribute foods with evil trans fats as important signals to health manufacturers that we are determined and we want healthier products. What does it all mean? Although, just remember, we're not perfect. We're making progress by increasing activity, squashing cigarettes, changing our diets. And that points us to the fact that the person who has the most overall age isn't even the regular doctors. It's the ones that have 5 fingers on both sides of the book to learn and study from this particular book he's talking about. I'm bringing it to you so you don't have to buy the book. And then it says you should think of medicine as part science and part art. It's important to do that. The ultimate we're going to concentrate on is we need to concentrate on what's on the inside, what is affecting what's on the inside mostly, what's the most preventable I can do, what are things I have control over, and when am I going to take it seriously that I am going to have birthdays, and depending on what age I am at that birthday, no, I did not say that incorrectly. Depending on what age I am at that birthday, you may be 55, but is your body at 65 or 38? We are who we are because of how we take care of the home we live in. We at Remedy This Natural are there to help you have a better quality of life. Learn about the herbs, learn about the foods, learn about the grains, learn about the vinegars, learn about the books that can help you be able to do that. Your life and your health are very, very important. And the thing that I wanted to discuss with you today was the owner's manual. You know, how important is it to how we become and who we become when we become it? And we can talk about things that make us who we are. We're coming up to February. This particular broadcast that we're talking about is on the 25th of January, Monday, and doing it live. What is it that you want to do for yourself that will help you determine that your biological age is younger than your birthday age? That's where we want to be, and that's what we want to do. And my concern and my goal is for us to be able to do that, is that you and I have the importance in our heart, our mind, our soul, and our spirit that we're going to live the best we can live, because we understand that I live in my home physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. All affects me to who I am. And it's my goal today on this broadcast is to make sure I get the point across to you that you are your doctor, you are your caretaker, you are the maintenance of your home you live in, physically and even the home physically and the body-wise and the home-wise. Sometimes a little difficult to get that out. But if you can do that, you'll have the best quality of life and your years will be worth living. God bless you richly as we continue to delve into 2021 and the changes that are happening to make us enjoy life and more abundantly. God bless you. I'm Claiborne Holzman, looking forward to being of assistance to you at Remedy This Naturally. And check out the cafe at Remedy This Naturally. God bless you.
Steve found the perfect mattress, and Sue found everything else she needed to feel cozy and comfortable. Give yourself and your loved ones the gift of better comfort and sleep. Save up to 50% on select bedding and more. Plus, choose from other year-end mattress offers, all with no credit refused. Get the best bedding deals of the year, only at Badcock's Gift of Sleep Sale. For details, visit badcock.com.